Alright then guys, hi there, it's the Cartographer, and today I'll be showing you how to do Reap the Whirlwind. Now, this next trial is less of a challenge and more of a monument to the cruelty of mankind. The details border on the verge of disbelief, and when I first read what the trial involved, I went and got my eyesight checked, because I assumed there was something wrong with me, rather than the game genuinely expecting us to kill 6 meatheads in 5 minutes with a bomb lance, and also headshot 5 hives. This mission is straight up cruel, it's not fun, the meatheads spawn randomly, the hives spawn ad infinitum, it is honestly outrageous. The secondary is a Romero's shotgun. It's a tough challenge and you'll be doing it a lot. I got really lucky actually and did it quite quick. I'll show you my best ways of going about the challenge, but it's a bit hit and miss and relies on you getting a bit lucky. No time like the present, let's get involved. Right then, so the first thing you want to do is enter Darkside and try and find where your first meathead is. They're normally absolutely miles away, which is really annoying, but you're going to have to make your peace with that. You want to try and get as many hives dead as quickly as possible. Run up fairly close and just make sure you hit your shot, because missing your shot is an absolute nightmare. If you ever get a moment of safety like this, reload and let your stamina come back. You can get really lucky / unlucky with how your meatheads spawn. The main thing that's going to be a problem on this map is making sure that you're not missing any of your bomb lance bullets, but really is dealing with the hives. There is an unbelievable amount of them. Now, whilst you're sprinting, you can outrun their shots. However, it's only whilst you're sprinting. If you're winded, it'll take ages and you'll take an oppressive amount of damage. Don't worry so much about taking, little bits of damage, but if you're poisoned, it can just build up so rapidly, especially if you're taking shots from lots of them. Now, the other difficult thing to have to deal with is you do actually have to get 5 headshots at some point with a Romero, and the shots can be few and far between with it. I've been pretty unlucky in that there was a fire there, and now I've lost some of my health. If you get a bunch up of hives, what you can do is you can throw a hellfire bomb. Otherwise you're kind of just stuck with them, unfortunately. The safest place for you to be is outside of the compound. So outside of the compound there's less hives, and it's actually pretty uncommon that a hive swarm will follow you the whole way there. It does happen, it's annoying, but it's easier to make peace with, I guess is the way to put it. And also they don't tend to be as bunched up, which means you can work on getting a couple of your Romero headshot kills. You can get really unlucky with the RNG and how the game likes to throw the meathead spawn locations at you. If you get a moment of solace like this, just restore your health whilst you've got it, because you'll need as much health as you can get. I still advocate for running around the outside. If you run inside the built compound, it's actually quite a difficult compound to get your head around, I would argue. It's just not ideal at all. I find it really difficult to navigate. Like here, I'm just going to come out immediately. I always make the mistake with this one. You'll see me running out of health, and you can see my character start to slow down as well. I'm going to have to go here and get into the building and just get a moment of respite, which eats into your time, but otherwise you'll just die, which is not ideal. Like I said, you can get really unlucky with how the game wants to give you spawn locations for the meatheads, and I didn't even know where that came from, but it's something you just sort of have to deal with, unfortunately. Try and navigate around the hives, and if you're being followed by a hive swarm, take it to the edge of the compound so at least they're not building up. Towards the end, like your final one, or like your final meathead, you can just sort of take the damage, if you see what I mean, as you're trying to do it, because by this point an insane amount of hives will have spawned, and if you've had to spend any time healing or regenerating your stamina, if you haven't, I'm very impressed. Then you would have found things quite difficult, or you'll be running low on time. So like now you can see I'm not so worried about taking damage, rather just getting this final kill as quickly as possible. If you are damaged, the meathead will come to you. You can use that to your advantage for the final one and bring him over closer to you, but that's a bit of a risky play. It's a pretty difficult mission, but if you use the tips I've given you, you can sort of maximize your chances of doing it. You need to get really lucky with how the meathead spawns sometimes. If you find yourself sort of bouncing between one end of the map or the other, you're probably not going to complete it just from a time management perspective. Make sure you hit every single shot with your bomb lance. Use the edge of the compound to your advantage to mop up easy hive kills and also to restore stamina and health. Try and stay away from the compound itself in the middle, just because I find that the hives still do spawn in there, and it's really difficult to get away from a swarm because there's a lot of corners and it's difficult to work out where you're navigating to and from. I hope that helps. I'll send you my 3-star run to have a look at, and I'll see you in the next one.